Have you ever wondered how to create your own magical world? It all starts with planting the right seeds. Picture this. You're standing in a field, a blank canvas of fertile soil. In your hand you hold three types of seeds: character, place, and predicament. The character seed is your protagonist, the heart of your story. This isn't just a name or a physical description, it's a living, breathing person with hopes, fears, strengths, and weaknesses. It's a knight afraid of the dark, a wizard who can't control his magic, or a princess who'd rather be a blacksmith. The more real your characters feel, the more your readers will connect with them. Next, we have the place seed. This is the world your character inhabits. It's the towering mountains, the whispering forests, the bustling cities, the sleepy villages. It's the smell of the sea, the taste of the market's spices, the sound of the town's hustle and bustle. Your place doesn't have to be a fantastical land of dragons and magic. It could be as simple as a small town with a big secret. But remember, the world you create should be as rich and diverse as the one we live in. The final seed in your hand is the predicament. This is the problem your character needs to solve, the quest they must undertake, the villain they must defeat. It's what propels your story forward and keeps your readers on the edge of their seats. Whether it's a missing artifact, a looming war, or a forbidden love, your predicament should challenge your characters and push them to their limits. Now imagine planting these seeds in your field. With time, care, and a dash of creativity, they'll grow into a sprawling story tree, with each leaf a different scene, each branch a different plot line. With the right seeds, you're ready to start building your world. Now that we have our seeds, let's dive into the heart of fantasy writing: world building. This is where the magic happens, where your story sprouts wings and takes flight. It's about creating a vibrant, believable universe that your characters inhabit. Let's start with the location of your town or city. The placement of your town in your world can have a profound impact on the story. Is it nestled in the cradle of towering mountains, or is it perched on the edge of a vast sea? Maybe it's hidden deep within an enchanted forest or in the heart of a bustling metropolis. The location helps set the stage for your narrative, influencing the lifestyle, occupations, and daily routines of your characters. Next, consider the local climate. Is it a land of perpetual winter or a tropical paradise? The climate will shape not only the physical appearance of your town, but also the clothing, architecture, and even the food. Remember, the devil is in the details. The more vividly you can paint the picture of your world, the more your readers will lose themselves in it. Now let's talk about the local flora and fauna. From towering trees to tiny mushrooms, from mythical beasts to common pets, every creature and plant contributes to the richness of your world. They can serve as food sources, threats, companions, or even magical ingredients. The flora and fauna help to make your world feel alive and dynamic. Who governs the area, and how? Is it a benevolent monarch or a cruel dictator, perhaps a council of elders or a democratic assembly? The form of governance can ignite conflicts, create societal structures, and influence the laws and norms of your world. Finally, what about the culture of your world? What are the customs, traditions, and beliefs of its inhabitants? Do they believe in a higher power, or are they guided by science and logic? The culture of your world can shape the values, behaviors, and identities of your characters. It can also create interesting dynamics and conflicts within your story. World building is more than just a backdrop for your story. It's an intricate tapestry that weaves together the physical, social, and cultural aspects of your world. It breathes life into your story, making it more immersive and compelling. And remember, there are no hard and fast rules in world building. It's your world, and you're the god of this realm. You get to decide how it looks, feels, and operates. You have the power to create a world that's as complex and unique as you want it to be. So take your time. Let your imagination run wild. Build your world brick by brick, layer by layer. And as you do, watch as your story starts to take shape, as your characters come to life, and as your world begins to pulse with its own unique rhythm. Remember, a well-built world can make your story come alive. Opening. A key part of any fantasy world is its magic system, but how do you create one? Well, there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer, but generally there are two main types of magic systems that we see in fantasy literature: hard magic and soft magic. Each has its own unique characteristics and advantages depending on the story you want to tell. Let's start with hard magic. This type of magic system has clearly defined rules. Think of it as a science within the world. It's predictable, and the audience understands its limitations. If you've ever watched Full Metal Alchemist or read Harry Potter, you've seen hard magic in action. In Full Metal, there is the rule of equivalent exchange. To obtain something, something of equal value must be lost. In Harry Potter, spells require specific incantations and wand movements. These rules and limitations create tension and conflict within the story. On the other hand, we have soft magic. This is where the magic is unpredictable, mysterious, and often unexplained. It's more about the feeling and the atmosphere it creates rather than the rules it follows. The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings are excellent examples of this. Gandalf's magic, for instance, is never fully explained, but it adds a sense of wonder and awe to the story. Then there are series like Avatar, The Last Airbender that fall somewhere in between. The elements are rule-based, making it lean towards hard magic, but it also has elements of soft magic as there are aspects that are left mysterious and unexplained. So how do you decide which system to use? It really depends on what serves your story. If you want your characters to solve problems using magic, then a hard magic system might be the way to go. If, however, you want magic to add a sense of wonder, or to drive the plot in unexpected ways, then a soft magic system might be better. Remember, the most important thing is to be consistent. If you establish rules, stick to them. If magic is mysterious, keep it that way. Closing. A well-thought-out magic system can add depth and intrigue to your fantasy world. So, we've planted our story seeds, built our world, and created our magic system. What's next? Well, let's take a moment to reflect on the steps we've journeyed through, each a crucial part of the fantasy writing process. It's like weaving a tapestry, every thread significant, contributing to the overall picture. We first began with planting our story seeds. This is where the heart of our tale takes root. We introduced a character, placed them in a setting, and presented a predicament. Each element is a seed that grows and evolves, intertwining to form the backbone of our narrative. Remember, a compelling character, an engaging location, and a gripping predicament are the lifeblood of any story, fantasy or otherwise. From there we stepped into the vast realm of world building. This is where we breathed life into our tale's setting. We asked ourselves questions about our world's location, climate, flora, fauna, governance, and culture. We even pondered on the question of faith. This process is like painting a landscape, where each stroke adds depth and color, making it more real, more tangible. Remember, a well-constructed world isn't just a stage for your characters to perform on, it's a character in itself, an entity that shapes and is shaped by the narrative. Next, we delved into the tantalizing world of magic systems. Whether it's the structured, rule-based hard magic of Full Metal Alchemist, the mysterious, undefined soft magic of The Lord of the Rings, or something in between like the elemental bending in Avatar, The Last Airbender. Magic is the spice that gives fantasy its unique flavor. Remember, an engaging magic system isn't just about flashy spells and epic battles. It's a tool that can reveal character, drive plot, and explore themes. Now that we've seen the steps, it's time to put pen to paper, or fingers to keyboard, and let your imagination run wild. Start with your story seeds. Let them grow and shape your narrative. Build your world. Paint it with vivid colors, breathe life into it. Create your magic system, let it be the spice that adds a unique flavor to your tale. Remember, each step is important, each contributes to weaving a compelling fantasy story. Don't rush the process, take your time. Let the story evolve at its own pace. You might be surprised where it leads you, and finally, don't be afraid to experiment. Try different characters, explore various settings, play with multiple magic systems. You never know, you might stumble upon a combination that sparks a whole new tale. Remember, the only limit to your fantasy world is your imagination, so let it run wild and start creating.